Right. Absolutely, Priyanka. Absolutely, Priyanka. And we're getting some more breaking news coming in. Abhishek, now we're getting some more breaking news. So just tell our viewers exactly what it is. It's flashing on our screens.
All right, the big breaking news development, Samiksha, I beg your pardon, Shivangi, is that BBC was in fact working with 8 Chinese government firms. And what this means is that the Chinese communist state was getting away by agenda setting by proxy. And they were bankrolling BBC, which has been in need of funds, and they have allowed their platform to be used for Chinese propaganda activities, essentially subversion by the Chinese communist state of the BBC, and through BBC setting the global agenda as per the imperatives of and the needs of the Chinese communist state. That's what's coming out. So essentially the details, as we understand, is that the BBC created a platform called Storyworks, which partner with at least 18 Chinese clients, including 8 Chinese communist government firms, and produced content which was in aid of these firms and companies, including the China Global Television Network. Essentially, what the story suggests is, and this is, remember, the Spectator, this is not us, we are telling what the UK platform is bringing out about the BBC, which is that BBC pawned its platform for money, for some pound and shilling, to the Chinese communist state. And that's preposterous, because essentially, according to Mahesh Jethmalani now, the suggestion is that because the BBC pawned its platform to the Chinese communist state, it's most likely, by deductive logic, that this Modi documentary that has been created by BBC could be because the BBC is beholden to the Chinese, and the Chinese don't like a strong India, and so if to weaken India you have to produce this kind of content, so be it. We'll try and connect with Mahesh Jethmalani in a bit. If that's the suggestion, we'll try to understand from him. But the Spectator clearly suggesting that the BBC has been in a tie-up with Chinese communist state firms for money, and that could have had potentially influenced the content and the general editorial policy as well of the British Broadcasting Corporation. We have to get details. The Storyworks is a loyal partner to Huawei, despite the tech firm being sanctioned by the United States and the United Kingdom authorities amid national security fears. Remember, this happens when India and the United States are closeted in Washington, D.C. with our national security advisor there, discussing critical and emerging technologies, of which semiconductor ecosystem is a very important aspect. And the reason why this is being done is because during the pandemic years, the Chinese blackmailed the world on semiconductor supply. And that is the reason why Huawei is banned in countries like Canada, in the United States, in Australia, in the United Kingdom, in India as well. And for the BBC to be hoodwinking and bypassing that global consensus on not dealing with Huawei because it's a Chinese state firm by other name, and then get into business with all these Chinese entities, the details of which we are going to share in a bit with our viewers. This information coming in by way of a tweet from senior lawyer and, of course, BJP MP Mahesh Jethmalani, who has tweeted a while back saying that why is BBC so anti-India? Because it needs money desperately enough to take it from the Chinese state-linked Huawei. And he has given the link of the spectator.co.uk story and pursue the latter's agenda. BBC, a fellow traveller, Comrade Jairam, he's taking a swipe at Jairam Ramesh, Congress Party's chief communication in charge. And it's a simple cash for propaganda deal. That's the charge made by Mahesh Jethmalani. It's a simple cash for propaganda deal. BBC is up for sale, and as part of that sale, perhaps they created that documentary. I'm going through some details of this story that has been linked by Mahesh Jethmalani, which has appeared in the Spectator, and the column is called Steer Pike. And the headline is BBC is still taking money from sanctioned Huawei. So this should be a major controversy back there in London as well, in Westminster. That how come bypassing not just the state official pronouncement, but possibly the information that has been provided by MI5 and MI6, the agencies that are in charge of intelligence in the United Kingdom. The BBC goes and does deal with China, cuts a deal with China, and with that money sets or possibly influences China gets to influence the editorial agenda. And perhaps, according to Mahesh Jethmalani, obviously, there is a link with that connection, that money connection between the BBC and the Chinese Communist state, and the possibility of they influencing India's image adversely with that documentary. So that's the connection coming out of Mahesh Jethmalani tweet. We'll get you more details of this as we go through. In fact, Tom Vadakkan of the BJP joins us over the phone. Tom, your party's MP Mahesh Jethmalani brings out